So if you're a new YouTuber, there is no shortage of YouTube advice online, and it's complicated which advice applies to small YouTubers, which applies to bigger YouTubers. Your thumbnails should be intriguing and clickable, and make sure you have this upload schedule and try to do this for the homepage. There is just so much information that it is so overwhelming. So in this video, I'm going to show you 4 simple ways to grow your YouTube channel as a beginner. The first thing that you need to know about growing a YouTube channel is the topics that you share. When I look at beginner YouTubers, the thing that stands out is not usually the tech or the editing, it is the topic. So when it comes to topics, this brings up the question of niche. Should I have a big niche, a small niche? I'm multi-passionate, I could have content pillars, and so this becomes a really big conversation. In the last few videos, I've been talking about the awkward mechanical fluid framework, which basically just means in the first phase, your first 35 videos or so, I would say you're in the awkward phase, and I would cast your niche really wide, ping pong all over that thing, try every possible niche you could possibly want to try. And that phase is really for you. It's to get things out of your system, to talk about what you're passionate about. The next phase is the mechanical phase, and that is really for the viewer. You're niching down very specific. After you've ping ponged all over that niche, in the second phase, you're gonna go really, really specific to just one niche for a while. And I want you to just be in that niche for about 25 videos. Once you're in that niche for a little bit, you can start adding another niche. Blend them at first, and then you've got 2 pillars. Do that for 25 videos. Then you can start adding in a third one. Blend it with stuff you're already doing, and then you've got a third pillar. And over time, once you get beyond 100 videos, you're in the fluid phase, which really is for you and the viewer. You're doing stuff that's creative. You're not having to be so mechanical for metrics. You're doing things that are fun and fulfilling for both of you. So you're gonna start your niche wide, then you're gonna narrow it, and eventually once you've landed a niche, you'll slowly start expanding. And when you land that niche, you'll slowly start expanding. And eventually you can get to that point where it's serving your multi-passionate desires, but it's also being valuable to the community. But the idea only goes so far if you only post once a year. So that brings up the question, how frequent should you upload? So when it comes to uploading YouTube videos, a lot of YouTubers have a lot of questions. What time of day? How many days a week? Do they need to be the same days a week? What should the schedule be? And I would say if you're in that awkward phase, the first 35 videos, things like that matter so marginally. In the awkward phase, the whole point of it is just to get going, get videos out there. So if you are in that first 35 videos, schedule does not matter. Upload time does not matter. When I look at my first 35 videos, the quality of them is so poor. Hello. Welcome back to my channel. But I was kind of rationalizing to myself, oh, if I just had the right schedule, if I just put them out at the right time, then they would do better. But no, it was just a matter of I was in the awkward phase, and so they're just probably not going to perform that well at first. So I recommend for the awkward phase, getting through it as fast as you possibly can. If you got to dump 3 videos out in one day, do it. Just get through it as fast as you can. Then once you get into the mechanical phase, this is when you can still be thinking about quantity, but having a schedule. When I was first starting YouTube, I only had an hour per day to work on it in the morning before I went to work, and I was really glad for that time constraint because it didn't allow me to get into perfectionism, but I did 2 a week. That worked really well for me. Once you get into the fluid phase, then quality can start mattering because you've had the quantity, you've put in the reps, and you can start maybe just doing 1 a week, but really focusing on better quality. So in the beginning, I would say a schedule does not matter as far as for subscribers and viewers, but a schedule is really good for keeping a commitment to yourself. You can upload as many videos you want, and if that thumbnail is not clickable, then it is all for nothing. So the next point is all about thumbnails. So when it comes to thumbnails, there's a lot of advice. Have a face in it. Make sure it sparks curiosity and it's engaging and it's bright and it pops. And so what I feel like a lot of new YouTubers do is they just take a photo of themselves and then there's some text that's like, I never knew number 3, or you can't believe this. And it's so vague and it's going beyond the level that they're at. Below all that curiosity and all that more advanced topics, it needs to pass the grunt test. And the grunt test basically says if a caveman were to look at your thumbnail for less than 2 seconds and look away, would they be able to know what your thumbnail is about? That is the foundational level that is more important than does it have a face, does it spark curiosity, all these expert things, it needs to pass the grunt test. So when you're making a thumbnail, make the important elements big, make them bright. If you're doing a video about your 5 fall fashion favorites, there needs to be something visually that shows it's fall, like some leaves, not text. There needs to be something visually that shows that it's clothes, something that says 5 fall favorites. So what I like to do is make things look 3D is a good way to make them pop, put shadows behind things, put an outline behind yourself, make it bright, make it white. And when you're editing it, zoom way out so it's really small so you can see what pops. So it's less about making things attractive and aesthetic, and it's more about making things pop. But all of this would be nothing if people cannot find you. So the next tip is all about how to get found on YouTube. So as a YouTuber, your videos can be found in 3 places. 1, in YouTube search, 2 on the homepage that people are browsing, and 3 in the recommended tab. Now, all the advice on YouTube when I was starting used to be all about search, and that's how small YouTubers should grow. Eventually, a lot of advice that I hear on YouTube is definitely targeted toward the homepage, you know, showing emotion, shorter titles, creating a lot of intrigue. But what I think for small YouTubers, the underserved area is that recommended tab. If someone's watching a video called Set Systems Not Goals, YouTube wants to have in the recommended tab a bunch of similar videos. And so it's best to give YouTube those videos and give YouTube what it wants. The rules for big YouTubers and smaller YouTubers are very different. So in your research, I would look at smaller YouTubers and what is making small channels grow. Once the channels are already big, they can break their own rules. They're already in the fluid stage, so you really shouldn't mimic them. But sometimes it's hard to find small YouTubers, so what do? So if I was in the productivity niche, I would just go to the search bar, type in productivity, and I would sort the searches by most recent. And I will just scroll until I find someone that looks like they just have a few amount of views. I would click on their channel, sort it by popular, and see which videos have more views than subscribers. And I would do this 15 times, find 15 videos that have more views than subscribers for small YouTubers, and I would recreate those titles. I wouldn't watch their videos because I don't want to plagiarize, don't copy the title exactly, but very similar to the title, I would recreate that topic. Okay, so you got the tips, but how about actually filming the video? I want to point you to this video where I talk about the easiest way to film if you've never filmed a YouTube video before, or you're within your first 35 YouTube videos and you want to do it in the easiest way possible.